Now, I know that my last video, or at least recent video, and that'll depend on if and when I upload this, was sort of a channel update. And this is going to be something similar, but I wanted to let you know because there's been some rather concerning developments, shall we say, here in the last few days. So I'd like to bring you up to date, so hang in there. Hi, Ray here with a, as I said, sort of channel update let me just get right into it. Right now, just behind me here, up the river, we have a wildfire that's burning, as they say, out of control. It started a couple of evenings ago. I didn't know at the time. I didn't know until the next morning when I saw it on a local Facebook page. This fire had started and it was 15 hectares. Now, I don't know what that is in acres, but that's the way we calculate things here in Canada. So 15 hectares. By the time I saw it the next day, it had grown to 30 hectares, so doubled in size. Yesterday, it had grown to 50 hectares, and now I just checked, and it's 80 hectares. So it's getting to be quite concerning. Now, I will say that right now, we're safe. We haven't been told to get ready to evacuate or anything like that. And the wind is favorable, shall we say, in that it's its usual wind pattern it's blowing to the east. And I don't know if you can hear right now, gates rattling here. The winds are coming up again, as they usually do towards the afternoon, coming up the Strait of Juan de Fuca. So I'm sitting here in the studio and it stinks. I walked in here this morning, just about knocked me over. So although I hadn't seen any smoke, certainly you can smell it in the air. And a guy in the neighborhood put a drone up this morning to about 400 feet. And the smoke is sort of more diffuse. The beautiful forests that I broadcast from recently and any number of times on this channel are now sort of a liability, unfortunately. And certainly as they are, we had a very wet spring that we were complaining about. Well, actually, I wasn't, because I was kind of expecting this. It's been very dry for the last month or so. Even though we did get a fair bit of rain, we didn't get a lot of rain. And most importantly, the snowpack has been very, very low. So usually when I look across to the Olympic Mountains, it was noticeable this year how low the snowpack was. So yes, I'm afraid that now this forest that surrounds us, and maybe those of you who come here often have seen, now that forest is tinder dry, and so hence the situation that we're in now. So according to BC Wildfire, it is now, as I said, 80 hectares. It's out of control, and it is, if I didn't say, about 6 kilometers away, just 6 kilometers away as the crow flies up here. And the local attraction up the canyon here is called Sooke Potholes. And it's a really spectacular canyon where people jump into the pools there, and it's very hot weather. So there were a lot of people up there. The park has been evacuated, and the campsite nearby also evacuated. People were pulled out of there day before yesterday and just told, vamoose, out of here right now. They had to leave all their belongings, tents and RVs and whatnot. They were let in yesterday. They were escorted back in and were able to retrieve their stuff. So I understand. So those people are being helped out by a local community here. To put this in perspective, British Columbia as a whole, it's not an exaggeration to say that it is on fire. We've got over 500 fires, I think was the last I heard on the news last night. And just to the east of us, the next province over in Alberta, the iconic town of Jasper, which is in Jasper National Park, which abuts Banff National Park and the Rocky Mountains, north to south, through British Columbia and Alberta, on the border there. That has been evacuated, 25,000 people, and their only escape route was into British Columbia that has its own wildfires. So it really is a, what can we call it? I mean, it's a catastrophe unfolding in that beautiful, beautiful place that I spent so many days, months, years. In fact, I lived in the area when I was a mountaineer. I spent so many days there climbing in that spectacular park. Spent time in its hotels, Jasper, where I used to sit pre and post adventures, writing poetry about my experiences. So it's very concerning. Obviously, for those people, we're hoping that everyone is okay there. But I know that, there's people who have already lost properties. Thanks to firefighters that are literally flooding in from around the world. Particular thanks to the guys from Australia, who I know are working in several areas, particularly around Banff. So we're very grateful to everyone who's helping out. Back to our situation here, as I said, no immediate call for evacuation. But 6 kilometers away is not very far, particularly as we see from yesterday, we've gone from 50 hectares to 80 hectares involved. And, the aerials look pretty scary. We can see the smoke right from here. I can walk out of my studio and see the smoke over the hills there, the Sooke hills. And it's very, very steep country. And the word from there is it's very, very difficult to fight on the ground because it's, vertical. That valley, as it goes up, the river here gets more and more steeper and steeper. Maybe I'll put some B-roll in here to show what things are like just a couple of kilometers up here. And it just keeps going like that. Very, very steep canyons and mountainsides. So all they can do right now, there's 4 helicopters, last I heard, working on it. Helicopter water with their water buckets. We've also got a water bomber that's scooping up water from one of the larger lakes up the river. And so they're doing their best. And we're just hoping that that wind keeps continuing, blowing to the east. That's not directly away from us. That would be north. And we're hoping that the wind doesn't change. Otherwise, I just wanted to let you know how things are here. I've got a lot of work to do. And so now we're kind of, shall I say, distracted. So that's the most important thing. So that's my report. What else can I say? I'm hoping to bring you some more content. I've got a whole bunch of things that are lined up here, but as I say, we've kind of got more important things to worry about right now. And that is, do we start packing up now? And you ask yourself the question, what's the first thing I grab? Is it the Z6III? So my camera gear, studio gear, well, I can't fit all that into the station wagon. So, of course, photographs. So we're going to have to, we've got our ear, like literally I'm checking the reports from BC wildfire, like literally every hour. And as we can see right now, this thing is out of control. They've said it's out of control. It's not contained and it's growing. That's all I've got for you right now. I don't, do I tag on my usual, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it the old thumbs up. Well, certainly, please do check back to see how we're doing here. And if this is your first time here, please do consider subscribing to my channel. Hit the old notification bell so you don't miss future reports from the front lines here. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Cheers. We'll see you later.